Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to the, we'll say, simultaneous first restreamed match of the brackets stage here. We got Cubsrule, the winner of the Blitz Whip group, Kyrios, the runner-up of the Ninja Shirt group. My name's Inven. I'm in the booth with Martin Broadcloak tonight. Martin, how are you tonight?
I am a little cold, little snow, but fantastic, and I'm excited for. I love these meme objectives, and man, this is wonderful, especially with
Oh,
this start.
yeah, Free Enterprise, widely known to be a completely solved game.
Yeah,
You're just going to do the exact same thing as your opponent, just who does it faster, right? That's
of course that's how it works. It's just execution, RNG. No, that doesn't exist in this game.
yeah,
Oh,
never, never. But we did mention it is the first, simultaneous first brackets restream. We're not in those group flags anymore. What has changed? What do our viewers need to be looking out for on this flag set, contrary to a week ago?
oh baby, I'm excited. Fu and Cecil, I've heard, are in the South Pacific sipping on margaritas, so they will not be appearing in any seed going forward through the bracket stage. Um, we also decided that we were a little generous in the loot, so we decided to cut that back a bit as well. We took off Wildish and we turned on the pro setting for treasure. Also, things don't sell for as much. The shopkeepers kind of got tired of us basically selling all the extra crystal swords and everything to them, so they decided they're only going to give us half of what they normally do. So money's going to be tight. So shopping's going to be interesting. There's a lot of little nuances that are going to change here in bracket stage. So, and I'm here for it.
Absolutely love to see these high-skilled runners who've made it this far doing more with less and seeing who can, weave their way through the nuances of any given seed. Quick shout-outs. We want to thank Nyabari for handling the restream and Judge Joe for pushing all the buttons on tracking tonight. They're going to keep everyone nicely informed and keep us attentive and on target with the actual race at hand. How about these objectives and starting character? What are we looking at here?
Uh, I mean, you see Rydia, and I mean she's part of Team 90 HP. But some early game summons. I mean, you find a Sylph, you find Leviathan is still a thing. You could still find a Leviathan floating around out there. Take that and look at these objectives. I mean, the one that sticks out to me obviously is number 5 immediately, just because it's one of the worst spots in the game, depending on what is sitting there. If this ends up being a hook route and number 2 comes in play, I mean, we all love our Kanazo hook routes. Those build character.
Absolutely. And we are off. And yeah, Rydia, very double-edged. Like, I love her for starting agility, but sometimes in these early games, you
Mhm.
have to let her get powerful and strong and help out.
Yeah.
Uh, and Team Low Agility at that got Sid here partying up with her. Uh, so you kind of have your choice of anchors if you really want to. Cursed Ring, Dwarf Axe, just letting one of these two lie on the ground for a long time.
Hmm.
Uh, but uh, just again, if we have to go down that hook route, do you need the speed or do you need the power?
Exactly. And that's kind of what I mean. Obviously, we don't want to give the runners too hard of a time, but I mean, I'm on chat side here. I want to see a dumpster fire. So that's what we're here for.
Oh yeah.
So one thing I didn't mention, obviously, the starting kit changed as well too. Starting kit no longer has a few extra little freebie J items in it. This is the default starter kit. So Cure 2's life potions, tents, and yeah, basically here's a little bit. Go forth and do things, and deviation immediately.
Yeah, we see Cubsrule going right to get the free Bedward item. Kyrios wanting to get some loot from Eblin.
Hmm.
Got a required rat tail here, so as soon as we find a hook, if we do have that hook route, boom, another objective taken care of, and
Yeah,
another reward.
yeah,
Uh,
which could be very useful depending on how this seed plays out early on. So looks like Cubs is doing the public treasury though. So the interesting I'm curious to your thoughts on the public treasury early game.
I liked it a lot more in group stages just because it wasn't hard to find something good here.
Mhm.
Now, I tend to try to do it, like, it's so dense, like, you have so many chests and so few steps that I'll tend to do it if I'm already there for the other treasury, or if
Mhm.
my team is just so bad at the start, I'm just like, "I'll need more money, I'm gonna need to buy bows or dancing daggers or something to get us rolling."
Mhm.
Uh, but if I have other options, it's not the dream, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I like it for kind of one very specific reason. For me, a lot of it is like you said, depending on your party and the power of your starting party. Um, Perhaps that early game shop in Toroya. If you find items that can actually sell for a little bit of money, some sets of armor or something like that, sticking your head in there and maybe finding something useful for this party, say an elven bow or something of that nature, just something to get you running. It's not a shop you normally check kind of in the scheme of things. Most people default to like, Fabul because, well, it's Fabul. Um, but, finding something good there could get your early game running depending on if you start, for example, with a short bow and iron arrows on Sid.
We do have pretty nice. I I do like that power staff though, because even
Yeah.
Baby Iridia here, the hit rate on it, the ability to
hmm
inflict berserk on another teammate, that I
hmm
think is a very subtly strong piece of gear. And
hmm
learning the cockatrice summon here,
This is very useful. I have learned how many places that summon works, and boy, is it a lot. So, you want an easy way to one-shot an egg if you get underground and have a siren. That will do it, and it does it very well.
yeah, I did know that Cubsrule pulled already 20 Medusa arrows as well from Random Treasure, which, yeah,
Ooh.
give me the choice between cockatrice and trying to land the properly timed execution to proc
hmm
stone. Uh,
Well, okay. So here's the thing about this: nobody likes Golbez. I get it. I understand it. But if I have to sit through a Golbez for that character, I get over it.
Yeah, Edge is the dream early game. One of the side effects of Fu and Cecil being gated before, and now being completely gone, is
Mhm,
Edge. You can find him anywhere. Not gated anymore. He's a part of the standard team at this point,
mhm.
and thus these runners are going to be very happy whenever they run across him.
Yeah. One of the other flags that changed in bracket stage actually applies to him. The back row glitch is not enabled, nor can it be turned on. So, guess what? If Edge isn't in the front row, unless he has a boomerang or a full moon, yeah, his damage output kind of goes down by a little bit. By a little bit, I mean a lot.
Well, and there's the other side of that coin too is I think how important armor is going to be on this
hmm
Slack set now.
hmm
You can't just stick someone with one piece of heavy armor in the back row and trust them to be safe. At a lot of these heavy hitting physical spots, what was once kind of a meme, the ninja shirt, is now a really great piece of armor to get for your edge. Just huge defense, both magical and physical.
Yeah, and obviously, when we think of with the back row glitch being on, in this case now it's off. That ninja shirt was huge for like the Z fight, where that magic defense comes in such play during that fight. But yeah, now in this flag set, that ninja shirt can. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love DPS on Edge. Can't do DPS if he's dead. So
Exactly.
I do love me that shirt.
And I will note with that early divergence, Kyrios will be even happier to get up there and get that edge.
Oh,
Kyrios
look
did
at
pull.
what's in the shop.
I missed it. I was so excited to already have a long sword here. What's the
Oh, you're seeing Kyrios sell a lot of things. You will see why here in about 5 seconds.
go to the buy menu already? Come on.
Well, we need 30 grand because of what's there. There it is.
Ooh, fun, fun, fun.
Yeah. That fixes our Sid weaponry problem. So it's okay. So I'll pose you this question. It's tough to spend money in this flag set. I mean, we joked earlier about 30 sirens in a dream, or money being obscenely tight in this flag set. So you kind of have to be very pick and choose on what you buy. You're 6 minutes in. Do you drop 30 grand on an Earth Hammer?
In Kyrios shoes, I think you do. You don't
Yep.
know that there's an edge waiting for you, and now with double long blades to give him as well, Kyrios' edge is going to carry this overworld, but Sid's not going to slouch either with that Earth Hammer. But yeah, I think you still have to spend that money. You don't know if it. I mean, it could be an Edward, it could be another Iridia up on Hobbs, but you know that you buy that Earth Hammer, you are good to go through probably all the way through Ordeals at minimum.
Yeah. And the Earth Hammer, people underestimate it being used as an actual item. I've seen enough hook routes at Fabul now to last me a lifetime. That Earth Hammer can put in some work when it needs to.
Oh yeah, and great niche things too. Like if you decide later you want to bother not farming, but dealing with the alert chests in Lower Babel to fish for some good trap chest gear. Earth Hammer's gonna one-shot those quadruple damage versus machines, and also we were joking about that Masamune altar. We end up with an alt gauntlet there. Keep that around and see how it works against an evil mask. You'll have a much better time.
Absolutely. So, all right, Cubs, where are you going? What are we doing? Oh, we Eblin. In the last, in group stage, Eblin was huge because of how T Wildish worked on trap chests and the fact that, ironically, this is called the Adamant Cup, so adamant armors do exist. But in brackets, that changes. Because of the T Pro setting, adamants are not like just going to show up, all the time. There are certain characters that excel very well based on some of the things you find in better treasure chest areas. Do you go to Eblin with this party?
I actually do it more now than I used to. We're absolutely right about the adamants, by the way. I've been doing all my practice seeds with spoiler logs enabled just so I can see where the adamants were hiding at the end of it, and nearly every seed has just one extra. We used to be tripping over them left and right. Now there's basically the pink tail one and another one. But in group stages, I loved going to Eblin once I could full clear the entire thing with no resets. I figured there was enough strength to get me through the rest of the early overworld, and then I could go to Eblin, clear out everything in one go, no flying back and forth, no resetting from the trap chests. Now though, like you said, with how much worse the trap chest rewards are, if I'm not on a hook route, I tend to go here early now, do the resets, just get the loot, get out, and not even bother with these trap chests in the long run.
That's an effective use of a grimoire right there. I'm okay with that.
Someday, someone will figure out the frame perfect manip to make those work. And
right? Hopes and we joke about it all the time. It's like, how could I avoid Chocobo, Sylph, Odin just flashing and saying, not this time? God, that'd be nice. Hopes and dreams, Inven. Hopes and dreams.
So Kyrios does equalize on the edge, has those double long blades, going to be very nice. Cubsrule, of course, pulling that Dragoon Lance out. That is actually my favorite piece of Kane weaponry on this flag set. Avengers are nice. Defense swords and white spears may do more damage on average, but having some piece of anti-dragon weaponry in your pocket, and also something you never have to swap. Like you run into Octomammoth or D-Mist with your Kane with a white lance, and you're like, oh, I guess I'm doing diddly squat damage now. It's just such a great set it and forget it weapon that I love finding one of those this early.
Yeah, very much so. So it's one of the, like you said, there are a couple bosses that really don't like that weapon. So the fact that those can exist in some nasty spots, I'm all for that spear. And in case of eggs, it is a very effective one shot against eggs if you're going to be grinding. So. But yeah, it looks like the runners here are just kind of mix and matching as far as where they've went. So, okay, so you're 10 minutes in. You have this party. Do you leave Iridia dead at this point? I mean, you've got two characters that have a pretty decent amount of power between them.
I 100% do at this point. Even with the Asura summon we found, even with that Cockatrice summon from Hobbs, I think that At this point, if you just leave her down, you know you don't have to hunt for a curse string. You don't have to worry about Wyvern popping out at you in the sealed cave later, getting your darkness crystal and thinking, oh, what on earth am I going to do?
Mhm.
This is just one of those puzzle pieces that is completely solved at this point.
I do like that spoon, though. I see that spoon, and I immediately think of a certain bard.
I have not gotten lucky enough to get a spoonward rolling on these flags yet. I would love to have one, and maybe a little dose of blink from a white mage to keep him alive and just see him dish out that damage. But you see, when I see the spoon on these flags, though, I think back to what we talked about, no back row glitch, and how happy I am to throw that at a CPU, at a Naga sister, any number of jerks who I'm now not hitting from a mile away.
Yeah, absolutely. I affectionately call it my face check dart, is because usually I find it later on in the game, and if you're trying to scum certain boss checks, it's basically an instant 10,000 HP of damage. So throw it if you don't like what you get, take it back. And go check something else. Eventually, it will pay off in spades. So, oh, hey, alt gauntlets. About those.
Yeah, not going to be at the Masamune altar today, but this is another one of those situations where both our runners will be very happy to have that edge. Just roast them, toast them. Your seafood party platter is here. I didn't know the Baron Inn serves such delicious delicacies.
Yeah, and everyone make sure you go vote for Senator Crocodile. I hear he's running this year for re-election.
I've gotten so many robocalls from that guy.
Wait, we have dueling Senator Crocodile. Wow, I wasn't expecting a debate this soon.
I mean, I like it. There's always the dream of only going to Fabul a single time in a seed. And Ordeals now is... Ordeals ain't what it was back in group stages.
No. It's an interesting dilemma. So, obviously, you're well-versed in, the game and all its, little nuances. It's a K-main check. But there's literally one character that has a great use for Ordeals. And he's not in your party right now.
Exactly.
So, and it's three bosses. Technically, it's two in a reset if you don't like what you see. But that's a lot of time for a maybe. Even though it's K-main, so it's probably something good. It may not be useful good.
The nice thing about it, though, is that you can kind of treat it conceptually a little bit like Sealed Cave. Like Sealed Cave, people are also going to walk through the entire thing and then just reset if they don't like it. Ordeals, at least, the bosses are pretty quick. Yeah. I tend to try to put it off until a little deeper into the seed, because if you're going to be sitting through all those boss fights, it's a lot nicer if you can one or two shot them. On the other hand, the first spot on Ordeals early game is really good XP for very minimal threat. The punches for 10 HP on a naked mage. It's not really scary in any way. The scary part is, are you wasting a ton of time for no actual value?
Yeah, exactly. And well, that is a Baron key.
Kyrios taking a reset, though, going to lose a little bit of time here. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
But that Baron key...
It is 5 fights you have to sit through, and in the front row with no armor, well, we talked about it earlier. It builds up. It kind of hurts.
Yeah. Now, Baron Key also gets us access to this gated shop. Cubs is going in there, going to see if there's any meaningful upgrades for this team. If you can, afford them.
Like those ninja swords right there. Like, how am I going to come up with 132,000? You're not. It's window shopping, and then that's what.
There are loot goblins out there who will open 130 chests out of desperation to power up that edge, and I'm happy for them.
I mean, a ninja edge, I mean, that'll take you through the end game. That's Z viable through and through. So is long. I mean, obviously ninja's better, but in this flag set, I mean, Earthhammer's 30 grand. That's a magnitude well above that. Like, you have to sell literally all of Evelyn
Yeah,
to
at that
afford
point,
one of those, if not two.
you actually kind of start hoping that you do get a Holy Sword reward for a Cecil you can't use, because
Mm-hmm.
at least, you start getting crystal swords and crystal armors and all that stuff. You're like, well, at least I know I can throw this away without constantly worrying if another one of my characters will need it in the long run.
Yeah, very much so. So Flurry in chat brings up a valid point. Yeah, gold dragons. Gold dragons, I mean, if you have your choice of grinds, I like grinds that provide money as well, and that one's pretty good, so. All right, so what flavor of guards do we have sending here? Spoilers, they're gonna die regardless.
We do get the Baron guards here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have any anti-mage weaponry yet, so this ain't gonna go as fast as it does on a lot of seeds, that's for sure.
I will say one thing I've been slowly starting, especially in brackets. You see mute bells in the shop, buy a couple of them.
Oh yeah, because like you said, also with the grind thing, you don't know if your party's best option is going to be Gold Dragons, if it's going to be Warlocks, if it's just going to be the classic 30-egg omelet. It kind of depends on the loot you have, where your actual targets are, your objectives. And mute bells, they're actually one of the affordable items,
right?
Even on Escorter.
You're looking in the shop like 10,000, 20,000. They see mute bells at 500 a piece. You're like, I can afford these. Wait a minute.
Now I will note that one cute thing. I'm guessing Cubs ditched that short bow, but Cubs Sid actually still has the bow equipped. This is actually a great opportunity to do the. If you're familiar with the timing on them, those Medusa arrows that we found 20 of.
Yep.
One shots each of these guards as long as you time it right.
Yeah. ATB manipulation. Oh, isn't that a thing? It's. You can correct me if I'm wrong here. It's somewhat known tech, but it's not. Basically, all you need to do is hit them with an arrow right as soon as they perform their action. And because their ATB gauge technically hasn't grown yet, as long as it sticks at 0, it's a 100% chance for it to fire.
Basically it. If you're fighting super fast enemies that are at what we call relative agility 1, you can't just hit them right after, you do need to stop them, otherwise they've just re-entered the queue. Stop spell and hourglasses will both get the job done. But Cubs here is anchoring with Edge, and Edge is so speedy that basically just about any enemy in the overworld will be vulnerable to this.
Yes, very much so. I'm not against looting Baron here. So, Archer bow's nice.
I even like the little treasury downstairs. You get 9 chests super close together here, but the pain, of course, is what happens if you wipe to the throne boss.
Yeah. I like this little bit from Cubs here. Going to Cecil's bed here to heal up.
I've not seen this play in a while, but you look at the team. They're covered in status elements. You burned a lot of resources there.
Yeah. You don't have to walk. Well, I mean, you don't have to walk back to the save point, use a tent or anything like that. You could save in case the boss is kind of rude on the throne. But I mean, you have Edge. Like there's a few bosses that could give you a problem on that throne, but not many.
Yeah, Valvalis, I think, is typically the worst one I find. You find her on the throne in the early game. Most parties, you kind of have to just suck it up and walk out, or just hit the bricks. But we have a spoon from Outline Cave. We have an Edge. I don't think there's a single thing on this throne that you can't get through. Admittedly, at the cost of a pretty nice resource.
Mom Bomb, not terrible. Do enough damage and explode and a flame from Edge and the fight should be over.
Now, Kyrios has made it back through that alt gauntlet and is now rejoining us in the castle foyer. And his Edge is much better equipped, but still no anti-mage weaponry. So I'm curious to see if he's going to make up a decent chunk of time on this guards fight, or if the mini status is going to be a problem.
Yeah. I know one thing some people like to do, which it's a fun little bit of tech to do, is not that Starveils grow on trees, but use one and then just start attacking them until they reflect size onto themselves.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that could be a thing. I mean, like I said, because of the money situation though, and you have Bahamut, and we've already seen Golbez, so he's gone. But Wyvern, you know, a few other ones where it's like I need X amount of Star Veils for the seed. Kind of tough to sit there and pull the trigger on using one of them, not on one of those specific fights.
Yeah, because even though we know they're guaranteed to be in an ungated shop, no one wants to go shopping in Kaipo. No one really wants to go shopping in Silvera. You definitely don't want to go to the weapon and armor shop in Agert. So, yeah. And this goes back also to what you mentioned earlier about how our starting kit has changed. That nice starting kit from groups that nearly always came with 4 or more Star Veils, if I remember. You're only getting 2 to 4 starters now, and I think that's a subtle thing that a lot of runners will want to pay attention to when you're mashing your A button through that opening scroll. Is, did I get 2 Star Veils or did I get 4 Star Veils? That completely changes how you have to approach certain bosses and how you shop on a seed.
Yep, exactly. You know, do I leave one character alive or can I afford to get 2 up? You know, it's like, oh, speaking of characters, hi.
Very good white mage. Very good.
Very good white mage.
The one tricky thing to remember with her, though, I've discovered, is have you gone to Zot before you are going to the moon?
What's that exit spell, Inven? What have you walked out of lately?
I love to complete, you know, my final altar in the lunar subterrane. I've taken care of, you know, Plague and D-Lunars and Ogopogo and Wyvern, and then I go to my spellcasting menu and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, about that.
Wait a minute.
I'll tell you what, for 2,000 apiece, I don't mind buying 1 or 2 of those if I see them in a shop.
And that's another kind of subtle thing about not having Cecil. You know, Cecil gets exit at a fairly quick level with his XP curve, and we nearly always had that at our disposal. Fu, another great source of exit. Now, if your only guaranteed ones by levels are, well, Tella just comes with it naturally, and Porum, but it's Rosa. It's Rosa.
It's hard to turn her down. It is. It's great HP growth, and
although I've seen, I think I've seen a bit more of her actually as another physical attacker, just because heroine robes being a relatively, like, a heroine robe, you know, a lot of people say is basically half of an adamant armor, and they're a lot easier to find than certain other pieces of gear. Hey, speaking of enemies with mage weaknesses, what's up?
Yeah, that's one. Boy, do you wish you had a mutant knife right about now. I could do some work, but yeah, things we glossed over. One, someone left just a random darkness crystal in the barren pot. I don't know why anybody would do that. That also does light up number 4 on the objective screen. So hey, we're putting Joe to work. So yay, fantastic.
Yeah, we have all these really long early boss fights between the alt gauntlet and then this both these guards and this mom bomb. Seed's being a little easy on the tracker tonight. Maybe we'll.
It's gonna pick up speed. I have faith in it. Give it time. What? Who just seriously? Who just leaves a ninja sword on ordeals?
I mean, that's great news for Cubs. We mentioned that Kyrios had the double ninja blade going on, or I mean, double long blade. Now, Cubs has access to a long and a ninja. Gonna keep the boomerang on, though. Wants that edge to stay in the back row for now for safety, it looks like. But I'm honestly a little surprised that we don't see that darkness crystal going right to the moon. What are you most excited to see? If you have to choose one item to be in the Hummingway shop on the moon right now, do you want Bacchus wine, hourglasses, or sirens? Keeping in mind you're not underground yet.
Okay, so I'm a fan of just DPSing faster than the enemy can kill me. I want Bacchus, just because it's one less turn that my white mage is doing casting Berserk, which means I can basically just go Bacchus blink immediately and get through just about anything in front of me. What do you think?
Nah, I'm a big fan of that as well. I have found myself a few seeds where I'm like, oh, you know, my first 3 of my first 4 characters were Tella, Rosa, and Porum. I don't need to buy a lot of wine. I'll be fine. 10 minutes later, going back for more wine and just thinking, because there's always something else your white mage can be doing. There's always something else if you can just take care of Zerking with the Zerkers themselves.
I mean, yeah, they're expensive. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, that's one of those that you're selling off a good chunk, if not most of your inventory, to buy however many you can. You have to go back to the moon at some point anyway, so I mean, 8 to 10 of them probably get you through the rest of Earth before you go back up to the moon.
Yeah.
So, I see chat bringing up hourglasses for hair dryers. Also good on the experience side of things, so I couldn't argue that point. It's like hourglasses, the fights I would use them for right now, there's not many of them left. And yeah, it's a nice burst of early game experience, but I think Bacchus is going to help me more in the next 30 minutes than hourglasses will.
And what I consider to be the rudest plague spot in the game, the back attack, with this edge anchor, very tricky to get.
You just die. Yeah, you're dead. Yep,
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, literally, like we joke about, agility anchoring and like, you can basically fast agility anchor the entire overworld, except for like that exact boss at that exact spot, because you're probably gonna die.
It really does, it's like, oh, did you, you got someone there dead? You think you're gonna life them up in time? No.
Did you want an action? Okay, well here's 5 on the timer, but it started at 10. Yeah, no, it started at 5.
So that bought back Kyrios a lot of time. Our racers neck and neck again, both in the Steam Mist fight. Now I do. So Kyrios swapped that Sid out. At this point, that was we say 30,000 gold, but with S quarter, it's more like 60,000 gold worth of stuff to convert that Earth Hammer. Yeah. Are you worried about that at all? If you're here, how much you invested in that?
To a point, yes. I mean, obviously, we joke about translating items into sirens, and 30 grand on an Earth Hammer, that's like 7.5 sirens. So, and then jettisoning the character that uses it is, I mean, it hurts, but maybe that changes a little bit your loot scheme later on to maybe afford something in the future. It's hard to say.
And Kyrios also falling for the Plague Trap, going with the attack on edge, which it's so nice. You have your boomerang out, you're doing 4 digits of damage to this floating enemy, and you're done.
That's exactly it. So, at least on Kyrios' side, he did save after the first demist fight, so not going to have to revisit that one again. But, yeah, a fight where you have to be anchored, otherwise... Or be really fast, like really fast.
Yeah, and we see here 2 different strats for that. Cubsrule did put that Baby Rydia in the middle to make sure the rest of the team gets their turns off in time. Kyrios this time used that first edge turn to pick Rydia up and get the reset on the Doom timer that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that boomerang doing, obviously because flying enemy. Hey, guess what? Extra damage. Boy, in this fight, you really enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Very much.
And Cubs is through, still keeping that Rydia, level 1, very nice. Didn't need to worry about getting XP there. We do see Kyrios is up to 83 health.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Okay, we're all right. We're all right.
But here's the problem. She's so slow that when you're anchoring with edge, okay, did get the turn back.
It's like a turn.
Yeah, like, are you just going to watch all 10 ticks pass here? I did not, thankfully.
There we go. We're through.
Nice.
Hooray, rejoice. Okay, is it a samurai hat here?
Well, no, the Kyrios didn't get the XP on Palom or Rosa, and learning those really good spells early can be kind of key, especially on a hook route.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier, weren't we? Something about a hook route and objective number 2, and what would happen if a K-Nazo can K-Nazo be down there, please?
I'd be down for it.
I'm here for it.
Now, this, of course, means we can also turn in the rat tail. We now have access to yet another set of gated shops. So,
Mhm.
lots of power at our runner's disposals. It's just going to be a question of, how nasty is it? And yeah,
Yeah.
you're not going, we're not just crystal sword adamanting our way through these hook routes anymore. And I think that's beautiful.
There's finesse involved in these now. It's not just power over what I call power over stupid anymore. It's no, you have to figure out a way through some of these bosses that may not just be, hey, punch it in the face really hard, and hopefully you don't die before it does. Like there's some tactics that are gonna be involved here. So
But I love this, just the equalization we had, because these runners now are less than a minute apart of each other,
Mhm.
even here at the half-hour mark.
Mhm.
Uh,
I'm not like we're 32 minutes in. You have darkness and you have a hook right ahead of you. I'm happy with my party, and then this is a really good party.
yeah, nothing wrong with that. You got your white mage, you got your black mage, you got your anchor, you got your physical attacker. That's a balanced breakfast right there.
Yeah, so do you go on the moon? Or do you just dive the hook route? Like what improves your party on the moon?
Not the character. If anything,
Yeah.
the item shop. Like, honestly, like maybe you launch the well. You have to launch the well at some point this year.
Hmm.
There's no getting around that. We have an
Right.
objective on the moon. So launch it, save that game. I don't check the lunar dais even. I think I just check the bunny shop, and if it's trash, reset right back to Mysidia and keep on scooting.
I like it. Also, I like that purchase Cubs made. There is a very short list of things that I would buy if I see it in a shop immediately. A Thunderclaw ranks right up there.
Oh yeah, Thunderclaws and Mute Knives. Give me. I'm very willing to pay the 5,000 and the 10,000 for each of those.
Hmm. I've even went so far a boomerang. In case I find the edge, like you know what, I do like me my back row edge. So
Yeah, especially when you run into CPU.
yeah.
There we go.
Wait, what? No CPU on the giant this season? Oh. Also,
Yeah.
no giant required. Oh.
Rosa critting pretty fair. Taking down like the that was I believe 16 times her max HP with one arrow. Brutal.
It happens. She's very good at pew-pewing. Very much so. About that back row glitch, though, one thing we forgot to mention, it's not just that the characters do full damage on the back row, it's also that they can do full damage against enemies in the back row. So, if you don't have a boomerang on edge right now and you're trying to attack that back orb, about that.
Yeah, not gonna happen. You know,
Mhm.
for what it's worth, though, the lack of Cecil, Kane kind of gets to come into his own now,
Mhm.
and very awkward character to back row glitch normally because only a dwarf axe will do it. But now, it's great. You just jump. We're taking full advantage of the jump command. I don't know the
Mhm.
last time we didn't just circ and forget it.
Right? Sadly, only an illusion from there, though. So, yeah, this hook route, it's a reality. So, let's see where the runners go.
I mean, we talked about the change up of the party. Against certain opponents, I think there's also a consideration in just going for the moon. Period.
Mhm.
I think it's huge counterplay if you think you're up against a much stronger opponent.
Mhm.
Evenly matched though, it becomes a lot more of a yeah. It's a risk that's really hard to to bear.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are some bosses up on the moon that, yeah, party like this. I know, for well, that's
Sell it, Cubs. Sell it. You've committed to the bit. You have your anchor. Don't be led into the temptation of
Mm.
the cult of dragon communion.
I mean, you the power though. It's so much power. It's a tough trigger to pull. It's like, well, okay, so spin it this way. Put a character with low agility on the hook route. Does someone get tossed and now Rydia becomes viable? I don't know.
I think a bit of that too is, you know, if Cub starts looting and just happens across a cursed ring in a random chest here, oh Palom, your days are numbered.
Yeah. Yeah, but also I just saw what was for sale, and oh boy,
Oh, they got the goods.
there they are. So you've probably played a few bracket seeds.
Yep.
How often is 30 in a dream, 25 in a dream, whatever, however you want to spin it? How often is it viable for you?
Well, you see, that's the great thing, because I am very content to not compete in the tournament and just talk my mouth off in the booth. So for the sake of my personal entertainment,
Yeah.
I've not bought more than 5 sirens on any given seed, and those are usually just for if I swap a character out late and want to do a little bit of catch up. It's not. I'm not. For me, it's more about the experience, the journey, than getting to nuke and holy immediately and blasting everything into oblivion.
That's fair.
That being said, though, you have a bunch of mage children.
Yeah.
You're fast approaching 10 key items, and you know, like if we had a pan here,
Mm-hmm.
I would feel very confident in getting that 10 key item, just popping siren after siren and running over the rest of the seed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I don't think this power arm comes along, but I think it's in the back of Cubs' head for possibly a trade later on. Obviously, we see Dr. Luggage sitting up there at 25k. That Thunderclaw's going to put in work against that fight.
Very good
So,
power purchase. Very
Yeah,
good.
this isn't a point where you throw away Edge quite yet. So,
And it's also a fight where it has decent HP, so those lasers, based on the second form of Lugay's HP,
mhm.
gonna be kind of legit. And that's another spot where having a few extra Starveils would come in real clutch.
Yeah, very much so. Also, a little bit of vanilla for you. How about vanilla trap chest there in Cave Evelyn?
Unironically, I love the vanilla trap chest flag. In the off season, we see in a lot of 2v2 matchups and everything, just being able to prepare for them, and especially like you and your teammate are splitting up the moon. It's like, oh, you have the dragon weapons? All right, you take care of that. I'm gonna go deal with some behemoths. Let me know if Bimmy and Jimmy have everything. But it's a really cool flag, and I think it makes the key items being randomized to trap chests a lot more fun, competitively.
I mean, you know, even if that flag was on in this tournament, I mean, they'd still spit out like, here's your complimentary Cure 3 for doing this insanely difficult trap chest. Have a nice day.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, hey, a Blizzard. I really needed an HP-based damage item with my 200 HP mages. Thank you.
I was going to say, I don't miss that about bracket flags, where it's like, hey, you start with 2 firebombs. Fantastic. What's my party? Radia Edward. Thanks, game. Appreciated.
And these trap chests taking no prisoners here. Again, you know, neither of our runners went to the moon. Neither one seemed to care about the character. But I'm starting to wonder what was in that Hummingway store.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, hourglasses, you know, would help with these fights if you decided to take them. I'm personally, I'm still on that Bacchus trip, so I do love me my wine. So unfortunately, so you remember how we talked about Medusa arrows earlier? And
was that a
how it makes them
Masamune?
work?
Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. It works in reverse too. So yeah, enemies, if they attack you, as soon as you take your action, guess what happens?
Good night.
Yep, we call this the sleep loop. You don't get out of it.
That is one thing that I think will... You have to resist the urge, because everyone wants to go so fast, right? But against the Stellman, it's often the correct decision to wait and swing right after they do. Don't just hold A. Just wait and go after them. Don't go immediately before them.
Yes, don't let them have a turn right after you take your action, otherwise...
Yeah, Kyrios is going to be very pleased with that Masamune pulling the Tier 7 Ninja Blade out of Evelyn Castle. That edge is about to do work, but help me out here, chat, if you know, did Kyrios pick up a Thunderclaw like Cubs did?
I'm waiting to
guess
see what Chad says because I didn't pay attention to whether he stuck his head in the shop.
Well, he's selling stuff right now. I guess we'll get a look. I see fire. I see ice. I do not see
Nope.
thunder. Okay.
I do see an earth hammer, which is now gone though.
Earthhammer also good against Dr. Luque, but yeah.
Yeah, except for that lack of character thing that kind of hurts.
Now here we go. Sneak an Earthhammer off the Stellman and put it on Rosa and Callum and let them do your Dr. Luque attacks.
I see what you're doing. Like back row and Yang. Even though it's a good time and I thoroughly enjoy it, but yeah, no, there was a topic brought up when we were doing some of our campfire racing about actually stealing earth hammers from Stalemen for money.
For cash, nice.
Boy, how far we've fallen when that's what it comes to get money in a playset.
And Drain Sphere hype, 3 swings at the Stellman chest, finally gets through it, and what's your reward? A straw.
A dart. I mean, yeah, the good news, you get a dart. I mean, that's not like terrible.
Yeah, it just feels a little bad with when they were being so. And I would like to point out that was another sign. Like we saw how hard they were hitting edge.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's another. Like I know all these racers have been practicing really hard, but those of you who in the audience who really liked the group flags, you're gonna see a lot of people, a lot of party members just getting their heads clobbered in. Because you're not just in the back row, you're not wearing, the free Dragoon armor and ninja shirts you found all over the place. Everybody's squishy now.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of us talked about this, and this is why partially also I get to be in the booth with you. But part of the reason why I wanted to be on comms for like one of the early opening races, it's a drastic change between group and brackets. And we're going to see some racers that, like, you can practice as much as you like, but once you're in a tournament setting, though, with these flags, things get, like, you see some things that, are kind of assumptive in the group stage that, no, like you said, you're going to get your face punched in brackets. And seeing how these racers adapt to that change is what is going to make this a lot of fun.
We do see Cubs going back to Evelyn Castle. This is good news for his edge. He's at the Stellman Skull fight that we know will spit out that Masamune. But Kyrios, kind of taking the lead here, foregoing the double Stellman chest and already headed down here into Upper Battle.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see what this first fight is. We always enjoy the King Queen Evelyn fight. We have a reason.
It's a fight that basically says how well did you anchor before this fight? And this one says
this a lot less now. Boo.
For what it's worth, if the Water Hag had one-shotted edge there, I think you would be enjoying this immensely. It missed it by that much. Come on.
I will say there are a few things finer than like finding a Water Hag down at like the Ogopogo altar when you're not anchored. It's like, oh, I'm fine, and then the punch flies, and you're like, I'm not fine. This is bad.
And that's also one of my favorite things about like watching, people who are learning the game and have learned a bit about it, but aren't intimately familiar with the different strengths at every spot, and they'll see something like, Water Hag, oh, it's Water Hag, oh, this will be fine. And you just sit there with your popcorn and you wait for it, and they're like, oh no, oh no.
Makes for some great entertainment, though. I'll give it that. And, oh yeah, we're not saving. We're going right into this.
Yeah, I mean, it was Water Hag in the first spot. If it was a fight that was onerous, it'd take, like 2.5 minutes to get through, maybe you think, let me play it a little safe, but you can get back through that in a heartbeat. So I like skipping the safety.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see, you brought up earlier about the whole laser on, phase 2 of this fight. I'm curious to see if we go either with a Star Veil to maybe help mitigate that, or just flat out throw something at it in phase 2 just to cut the HP down by half.
We've already seen CPU. I can't really see either runner taking an Edward at this point if you find him in Dwarf Castle or something.
Mhm.
I think phase 2 of this fight, perfect time to just dart that silverware, get out of the way, get underground, start
Yeah.
popping your sirens if you want to.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that. It's also like early game where it's like, hey, you find a couple J items, use them. Like they're not like moon veils and elixirs where, hey, you get an award if you finish the game with them. It's like, no, just get through fights, get through them as fast as possible, and get to your mid end game as soon as you can. So
Of course, as soon as you throw all your grimoires away, next thing you know, you have a mom bomb down here, and your entire team wipes to baby bomb explosion. You're like, that Leviathan I rolled, that would be pretty good here.
Or as Fiery brings up in chat, turtle at Masa. Yeah. No, I do love buying me a 10 stack of Thor Rages though. If I see them in a shop, that's an instant purchase as well too, just for that exact reason.
And this is kind of neat. Cubs has actually turned on random encounters. I'm guessing this is for the specific purpose of getting Palom to quake before running on down to the rest of this hook route.
I would say if Rosa doesn't have blink either, I would say that would also be a great reason for her too.
Ooh, yeah.
Which I think she's actually 1 level short.
That was a 1600 damage laser.
Yep. What's Ruin Laser invent? What is it, a quarter of its current HP? Or 25% of its current HP, I believe it is.
Yeah, it's nasty. And the Star Veil protects you. Sadly it doesn't reflect it back in full. But at least you don't get utterly, destroyed by it as poor Rosa did right there.
And as Edge just took one for good measure. So yeah, this is we talked about it a few seconds ago. It's a fight worthy of throwing something at. If not to cut down the damage of the laser, just get out of the fight.
Oh yeah. And we do see that Kyrios only has 1 Star Veil left, so I kind of get it. You don't want to use your last one here before, next thing you know, you run headlong into a Wyvern at Calbrena when you go to Dwarf Castle if you do that. But the spoon, though, just get out of here.
Definitely would save some time, but I mean, Edge swinging for 1700 damage. I mean, Edge now taking a nap because that's what we do.
It is kind of funny, with the Dr. Luge fights, because when we fight them later in the game with a stronger team, even when the laser's doing this kind of damage, you're usually still poisoned when you kill it, and because of status element priority, the gas cannot hit you if you're poisoned. But after he's healed your team, it starts coming out, and we have nap time all over again.
Well, the good news is it only has 400 HP left, so yeah, you've got time. Get Rosa up. Hopefully this emission doesn't kill everyone again. Throw out a virus, shoot it in the face. Do something, just get out of the fight. There you go.
The heal, actually, I think that heal cured the sleep, and then Edge was still zerked and finished the fight off for the team. I mean, this is great for Kyrios. Did manage to preserve the spoon, but my problem now is that my hands would be too sweaty to hold my controller, and that's just a whole other problem too.
Yeah. But hey, we're underground. We're underground at the 50-minute mark. Yay.
I mean, we did the full overworld, we did Baron Castle, we checked nearly every trap chest. I think Kyrios did forego that Snowman chest. Team's rolling, we got the goods.
We know where sirens are.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not terrible. And there's a sparkle sitting there at the top of Lower Babel too, so.
We've only seen Plague so far out of the 5, right? Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely, I am not a fan of Wyvern or Ogopogo up there. That spot does not agree with me, man. I'm not a fan of the top of Lower Babel.
I think the one person I like seeing there is Val, because it's one of the places that I have memorized. She does not get magic evade there.
Yeah, just cast right through it.
Now, we're going to see here, I think Cubs, even though, Cubs spent a little bit of time on the Stellman chest, then left, did a little bit more work trying to get Palom up to Quake. But Cubs has this Thunderclaw, and I think we're about to see that gap narrow quite a bit just through the power of this edge doing quad damage.
Very much so. But hey, look at this! Eggs! Delicious eggs.
Now, we don't have enough Sirens to quite get all the way here.
No.
But Palom will still be thankful for them.
I'm not against a little flavor here. I mean, you know, get Cure 3 on Rosa. If you want to be greedy and go for Cure 4, sure, so be it. But, you know, like you were talking about earlier, you know, the most you ever buy is 5. I'm not against burning like 5 here fairly quickly, and then going and doing the rest of the underground.
Yeah. Now, well, only doing the 1 for now, though. One thing I'm wondering here is, so we're at 6 key items. We know we have Fey March freebie and Sheila 1 hanging. What's your threshold where you say, let me hold on to these, let me try to wait till I can get the double?
It's dangerous. I've played these seeds both ways. I've pulled the trigger on 30 in a Dream when like I hit underground and I'm sitting on 3 or 4. I'll just assume that there's no way I'm hitting 10 before I go to the moon, so I'll just pull the trigger then. 6 is that it's a dangerous threshold because, like you said, there's a freebie, there's Val currently staring you in the face. That's going to be a fun time. Is it a reality that you get to 10 on Earth right now? Probably. How long is it going to take you to get to 10 versus doing them all right now? You get back to that money issue. Like, can I afford 20 Sirens right now? No. Well, then I'm probably going to wait and only have to buy 10.
And, you know, I may have mentioned that I like seeing Val at the top of Lower Babel. Don't like her here.
No, that's a lot of evade rolls, right? So, hey, about that spoon.
Yeah, Kyrios, good job not throwing your Soon at Luge. Excellent foresight. Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay, no, I like this. I think I'm going to get inside Kyrios' head here for a second. We know how the formula for throw works. He doesn't have enough levels right now for the spoon to one-shot Val.
True.
So if the plan is to yeet that spoon at Val, he needs roughly about level 35 for it basically to go right through her and finish the fight.
Yeah, saw that first swing there for 344 in tornado form. Was like, yeah, okay, we'll come back.
No, that's painful to look at.
And Cubs here hit that pitfall just slightly past 3 minutes behind Kyrios, so we'll see how he elects to target the rest of the seed.
Hey,
Still has his spoon too.
Dwarf toilet. I love it.
It's delicious.
You know, I think that guard right there gets paid a lot of money. I really do.
Now, Kyrios had quite a... I believe Cubs bought, 7 Sirens. Kyrios still has 8 left even after this egg. So Kyrios looks to be going the distance.
I'm curious to see if he burns all 10. I'm intrigued.
Dwarf item shop being a little disappointing. Speaking of things that you do not afford on Escorter, Soma drops also near the top of that.
Yeah, no. I mean, don't get me. I love my Tele having 100 MP. Don't get me wrong, but at the cost of 5 Sirens, he can live with 90. I think he'll be okay.
And it looks like Kyrios' Palom is now able to one-shot these eggs with Virus, so gonna even be accelerating that grind even faster.
All right, let's see it. Come on, Cubs. Yeah. Oh, no, you were in the dirt menu. You were there. We had it.
Thought about Zerking Yang there, and then elected not to, realizing, like, wait, maybe I do need to...
Yep, here it comes. There we go. Good chunk.
Still has, I think, about 600 HP to go here, but very close, very close.
Oh no, poor Rydia. She knows what she did. Oh, wow, and the Dragoon Spear, for goodness.
The entire kitchen sink.
What's the best kind of kill, Inven? Overkill. Yes.
Overkill. I mean, you know, if this is a bad character and not value, you just reset anyway. But I like that.
Uh-oh. Hi, how fast can and Hourglass? Oh boy. So hey, about that. So let's change faces here about that grind. You have sirens, you have hourglasses. Cubs might regret throwing that dragoon spear, but you know, yeah. Gold dragons. Hi.
Or even with that adamant armor, you know, how much faith do you have in your team now? That's kind of the real double-edged sword here. You know, you can go just for, you know, the 20 egg omelet, but you know, if your opponent gets frisky and either, you know, I mean, pink tail at a freebie, not the friskiest thing. You know, one of our community mantras is check your freebies, target your objectives. Higher completion, you can get away with delaying things a little bit, but adamant armor is huge here. Like adamant armor makes that ruby fight free that we now see at the queen spot. But yeah, the chance of while you're doing that is someone else, you know, sweeping trap chests with Quake on that Palom. Are they, you know, getting, you know, a Stardust, a Rod, an Adamant Armor, you know, well, we already saw the Dragoon Spear, another Masamune, and XP. Well, I'm only getting the XP.
We also saw the Tower Key come out of Dwarf Castle behind that valve, and that's an objective.
Ooh. So now we're asking, you know, when is Kyrios going to go back for that? How strong does he want his cane? Has he forgotten about the spoon, maybe?
Possibly. It's. I mean, let's take the spoon out of the equation right now. We talked about this earlier. It's a good party right now. Like, I mean, Cubs saw Kane and threw him away like a, you know, wet paper bag. So, I mean, I feel like this is the end game. This is the party that they're going to Z with. Why do you sit through Dwarf for a character check and a key item when you have all these other things to do? It's a dangerous mindset to get into, but if you're happy with your party and you've got moon access, why are you going to sit through Dwarf?
Yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, Dwarf Castle is the Mount Ordeals of the underground. At least Sealed Cave, you can see the item first. It's the commitment is just the initial walk. All the others, you're committing also to additional cutscenes, and a lot of runners just have their least favorite location. I'm not going to go here. We're going to just let it ride. If it's there, I hope my opponent spent so much time doing it that I can make it up at the tail end.
Very much so. I don't disagree with Cubs here. I like this. I'm probably wouldn't be as greedy as Cubs, but if you have a Thunderclaw in your inventory and a character that can use it, I'm probably opening a few chests on my way up. And if I happen to hit an eyeball, either I, you know, steal a few sirens or it's getting one shot with a Thunderclaw. And if I just happen to hit something shiny out of it, fantastic.
Yeah, I think if you can one-shot them, it's not a bad idea. But I also, like, I don't mind, like, the first floor of lower battle. The left two chests, sure. That right one, no, I'm not walking over.
No.
It's too far.
I'm glad we work on the same wavelength here. It's like, I'm thinking of the one chest. Brain operate. There's one that I fade just because of how long it takes to get to. We'll come back to it. It'll click when I'm not thinking. But there's one specific chest where it's like, I'll do these. Oh, when you're walking down Hook Route. You know that one you have to walk through the hidden path all the way down?
Oh, yeah, right past the town part? Yeah.
It's like 7 seconds to go check that. No, that one can stay there till eternity, and I'm good with that. So.
I do that literally only when there was something in the shop and I must have all the money in the cave. Not just I must have all the money. I must buy this. I must buy a lot of this. Then and only then does that level of desperation get to me. Otherwise, like, no, just let me get all the ones that are, you know, tightly clustered while I'm walking.
Hey, Lunars, we know these guys.
So, you know, a cane with a Dragoon Lance would be good here.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Funny how that works. You know what else would be great here? A lot of Starveils, and not just one.
You know, the other side of this too is that if we were talking about the advantages of early grinding.
Mm-hmm.
It, the viruses at this point aren't that bad.
No,
You know,
they really aren't.
if you've done your sirens, if you've gone ahead and done your egg grind,
Mm-hmm.
just lay into them.
Yeah.
Rosa with Cure 3, I believe, will keep you ahead of the damage here.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Kyrios, great divergence here, by the way. You know, Cubsrule using the spoon and the Dragoon Lance, just flinging everything to get through there, gets the tower key. Kyrios bounces off the Vow, but gets rewarded with an Adamant armor for it.
All right, where's the second breath go? All right. Make sure we hit the frog. Please hit the frog. Okay, we hit the frog. Good.
This is actually also really good news with how low the spell power here is,
Mhm.
because it means Cubs has time to get the team rolling again before the non-frog one kills the frog one with viruses.
Exactly. But Kyrios did pull a white spear out of Sheila 1. So, yeah, about that cane.
Yeah, more stuff to yeet now, and still have leftovers if you want to swap over to a more Zerker-centric party.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kyrios didn't actually look... I believe Cubs peaked this Asura at Odin, but Kyrios didn't. Yeah. And I wonder... And I just don't think we have anti-mage weaponry on this team right now. I mean, Blink makes this free. Blink and Wall, it's free, but it's slow. Slow.
Very. The ironic part, you were talking about Baron Key earlier in the seed, and mute arrows were for sale in that shop.
Right for the taking.
Shopping. Ew, who does shopping?
Gotta go fast.
It's a tough trigger to pull, but I feel like, at least in this flag set, there are certain pieces of gear that, boy, do they make your life so much easier. But it's also at the cost of time. So
yeah,
where's the trade-off?
I don't mind. I don't mind doing a very quick peek at shops and towns I'm already in. Of course, Aggart, weapon and armor excluded. But it's very difficult to take the time to go to Mist, weapon and armor, to Kaipo if you're not already there to turn in a Sand Ruby.
Right.
But it's one of those counterplay things that, if you think you're going to be able to spike a key piece of value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something as simple as a mute knife that basically cuts this fight down to exactly 2 swings,
Cubs finding the Twin Harp through that D-Liner fight. Very nicely done, by the way. Cubs getting through all these fights without, again, we didn't see all the sirens popped, and just using those niche strats, not that frog strats are that niche, but, just showing his knowledge of the game to get through these things with something other than pure power overwhelming. I like seeing it.
Exactly. The good news for Cubs, too, obviously, that's a key item, so he's at 8.
Ooh.
So, and we know the Pinktail's sitting there waiting for the taking. That's 9. What does this tower key cough up? If we're there, I think we're going straight to nuke, like as soon as we hit that 10 mark.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hi. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Thank goodness it's one roll. And Palom evaded it because, Palom doing Palom things.
Help me remember, we really have to ask Cubs what he thought when he saw that coming out at him.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die. And I have no star veils. Oh god.
By the way, Magma Key, that nasty hook route that very narrowly Kyrios made it through?
Yeah, didn't even have to do it.
Completely unnecessary in this scene.
Well, I mean, it is an objective, so, ouch, twist my arm.
True.
So, yeah, no, this has been great. Obviously, number 3 being lit up here for Cubs. Once again, thank you both to Joe and Ayabari for doing all the work behind the scenes and making us look way better than we really are in the booth. You should go follow them. You should follow this guy Inven too. I hear he knows things about the game. He's kind of good at it too, from what I've heard.
I'm in my dotage. I'm getting slower and weaker day by day, but gosh darn it, having a lot of fun. But also, I think everyone needs to be following you as well and joining in these campfire races. Clearly, lots of tech and strategy being honed in those.
I mean, when you go up against those, certain individuals. Oh, look, it's a pass.
Not a
Wasn't
key
that a
item?
great segue to get me not talking about myself? That was fantastic. Let's talk about finding that pass. Yay!
I mean, you love to get the pass. It makes
Yeah.
moon diving decisions a lot easier. You're not sitting there thinking, "Am I forcing myself to walk this moon twice?" Like, boom, yeah, it's just one fewer thing to worry about.
Yeah, very much so. So, okay, pass. Pinktail coming out of here. We know the white spear's at Sheila 1. That's 9. Does Cubs go do Baron Basement?
If anything for Cubs, I would think you hate walking to Feymarch twice. I acknowledge it.
Yeah.
But you throw that adamant armor and that ice claw on your edge, and you go get yourself a drink of water while he kills Ruby for you. You know.
It's difficult. I mean, we talk about like percentages of certain checks. You have K main, you have K moon, you have K summon. Like you said, it's hard to come back to this place twice, especially when you have the entire moon sitting in front of you and one of your objectives happens to be up there.
Yeah. Feymarch is very much, on a magma key seed. Oh yeah, let's just take a look. See, all right, that's nice. I know I'll be back when I'm not level 8 average or whatever. Hook route feels a lot worse. Planning to come back here, twice within 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, very much so.
But we see a little healing going on here.
Yeah, I wonder if this is gonna turn into. Well, I mean, you don't have the adamant yet, and we know what Ruby does at that spot with its counters. So, okay. Is this going to the Ice Claw? I think we're taking a swing at him.
Good luck. Godspeed.
You remember how you were talking earlier about people and not understanding exactly how much spell power is at certain locations? Boy, are you going to now.
Yeah, I think this happened in our little pregame session before the stream got rolling, but we were talking how joyous it is for when with like Magus Sisters, with Ruby, that Masamune altar. This spot here, even the Val spot will surprise you with how high the spell power is. These Fire 2 counters are going to be rough.
Yep. How bad? Nah, those are gonna tickle.
If Rosa can get a Cure 3 off on edge, and the glare doesn't hit either, okay, that's good. That's good. That's kind of what you wanted. Didn't get the Quake off, but
this is you against Cure 3, and we're gonna see who wins here. Oh, that was a big roll.
Split damage once Palom goes down. There's actually merit to coming into this fight with Rydia alive.
Yeah.
But skin of the teeth. One more counter would have wiped Cubs there. Gets through. Woo! Eking out the victory.
It's a refund on a spear. Sure, I got nothing.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure there'll be something that you'll want to throw it at eventually, but...
I mean, you could sell it for a couple more sirens. I mean, it's a thing.
But those Magus Sisters are going to be... I would... Because the spell power at Leviathan, not so bad.
No.
The punchy part is the bad part there. But I'm sitting there thinking, did I miss a mute knife somewhere? Are there elven bows around? Anyone got anti-mage weaponry, please? Just a little bit. Thanks.
And boy, does it sting when you realize exactly where those pieces are. It's like I was right here and I didn't stick my head in. Like, I get it. You got to go fast, but sometimes a couple seconds can save you a minute or two.
So at this point, let's see if Cubs is also going to do the Sheila 1. Kyrios here now starting to equalize up in the Tower of Babel. Wondering if Kyrios is going to go back to that Feymarch. Again, Kyrios has the Adamant armor. knows Ruby is free. But I don't think you're quite ready to deal with the Magus Sisters, maybe? I mean, you can do them, but it's going to be very slow without, Mute Knife, etc.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, case could be made for going to the moon. It's a lot of objectives up there.
Yeah.
Or a lot of the item locations. Let's go with that.
Yeah. But Kyrios will hit 10 after taking down this D-Lunar fight. So, You know what makes those Magus Sisters easier?
Levels.
Level 50, yeah.
Hey, we're seeing a nifty little bit of tech here on Cubs' side.
I love this. This is my favorite thing to do on these seeds. Let RA1 Palom insta-quake Sylph Cave chests.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes he hits something nice out of here, too.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Second shiny sword for a certain ninja in our team? Yeah, alright with that.
Now, this little 5 chest room, again, I've been rolling my seeds with spoiler logs so that I can then go back and look. And I keep walking past this one. I'm just saying, it's so out of the way. This one has had Adamant Armors like 3 times. It's been the one other one in the seed other than the Pink Tail. So I think Cubs is looking in a good spot.
Do you still want... Jeez. Inven, it's my job to predict these things, not yours. Well, why have 1 adamant armor when you can have 2 for twice the price? There you go. Yeah, he's not opening anything else. There's no.
Yeah, we talk about the Siren grind. 2 adamant armors. You got your Rose, you got your Edge, you got your Palom.
Now everything basically falls to you. So pick wherever you want to go and just go do it. Wow, that room.
I swear, I was not given access to the seed beforehand. It keeps saying, first floor, 5 chest room, adamant armor. First floor, 5 chest room, adamant armor. Yep, that is the place.
I will freely admit, when I first started practicing these seeds, I was guilty of fading that room too, because it's just like, you just walk by it because you're going to do Sheila 1, like, not even thinking that, oh yeah, there's 5 chests in there.
And I think, even though this is the first bracket seed, we're going to see something here I don't think will be very common in these restreams. We're going to see a stack of 2 adamant armors in someone's inventory as soon as Cubs goes to the equip screen.
That is weird. That is the thing. All right, so you do Sheila 1. You're up here. What? I mean, it leaves you obviously Leviathan location, Barren Basement, and the moon.
I have 2 adamant armors. I think I'm ready for the moon. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Cubs Palom may not have nuke, but I believe the kid has all the tier 3 elemental spells. And that'll get you through while Edge is buffering your turns, circled up with double Masamune adamant armor.
Yep. Cubs resetting out of Sheila 1. Okay.
I don't think you're throwing a whole lot of stuff when you have double Masamune adamant Edge.
Yeah. Wow. Look. Well. Okay. So let's talk Twin Harp. There is a very specific set of circumstances where this is timely of a check. Usually, it's either you have the Earth Crystal, or you're doing Sheila 1 or 2. Is about the closest you will ever be to this check, and it's basically K-main, but it's long. You're gonna do it. This is when you do it.
Yeah, and like the one other saving grace of it is you just walked on all those damage tiles underground. You gotta heal up at some point anyway. It does that for you.
Yeah.
And if you're not magnetized, very quick to just, cast Virus on your own team and knock yourselves out.
Yep.
But Kyrios here. Oh, the well spawned on top of the airship, and it puts you in the airship first, but making the moon play. Got the 10 key items, has an adamant armor. This one difference, the Twin Harp versus the moon, it's probably going to ultimately decide everything here.
It is. So while we wait for the music here, I'm curious to see Kyrios' order of doing it. Obviously, you have an objective at the bottom of the moon. You have an adamant armor wearing edge in all reality, so... And you're at 10 key items, so bottom up because of ribbon and the experience.
I think so, yeah. And if you find what you need for go mode, boom, you're done. You got the XP, you got your sirens, you got the pass, nothing to worry about.
Yep. But we got music, so we're going to be quiet. Y'all enjoy. You know what, Inven?
What's that?
I think Escron's right. I could enjoy a vacation like this.
You see, the funny thing is that I'm down in the south, and it was over 80 degrees and humid today, and I'm like, I either need to lose about 10, 15 pounds, or I need to get up to the mountains and somewhere up north. So
I was gonna say, and here I am in the Pacific Northwest, and we had snow today, so it's yeah.
Grass always greener, always greener.
Always. But sadly, just a package out of that twin herb, so yeah, that is a reset. But we got music. I'm okay.
Yeah. Now, I think the big question here is going to be, so Kyrios level advantage is going to nuke right now, I believe. We have the illusions. I mean, not the illusions, pardon me. We have the sirens. We have the hourglasses. Cubs has the adamant armor advantage. Yeah. Which one's going to win this seed?
This is going to come down to probably what bosses are at what locations. I mean, you look at this party comp right now. Yeah, having the adamant on edge is kind of, pretty straightforward. Where does the second one go?
I mean, if you put it on Rosa, those two can take down any fight. Put it on Pelham, all of a sudden, the fights that you're not that worried about, you speed up substantially.
Yeah.
So... But yeah, Kyrios here, power going into overdrive, getting the life glitches off on these gold dragons at that. That's going to be 180,000 a pop. Will not take long to get to Nuke and Holy. Who needs a second adamant armor when everyone on your team is hale and hearty and ready to kill everything? What's that you say you like to do? You just like to kill stuff before they kill your team? So
yeah. Punch it in the face before it kills it. That's how you win the game. I mean, the sad part about this too. Yeah, I guess your levels, but boy, are you gonna have a lot of money at the end of the seed and just be like, oh, I could have used this like half an hour ago.
And that is one strat that I'm curious. We talk about travel time on seeds and how, we don't like going up ordeals for all that time. We don't like walking through Fame Arch twice if we can help it. I'm wondering on seeds where we do get early access to all the tools. Like, let's say we had a Tella earlier after ordeals and, sirens, hourglasses. How soon do you go to the moon to do gold dragons just for the money? Yeah. Have you figured out a workable timing to where you can get multiple life glitches up on them? Because you can get so much cash that way, and then it's not a question of how do I afford this, it's just how much of it do you want?
Right. The other question on, as Cubs is flying to Tom right here to do some shopping, the question on Kyrios' side, and we brought this up earlier, hey Inven, who on this party has exit? So about that.
About that. Oh, Are we ready to see warp cast? How many times do you have to cast warp to get out of here?
Yes.
Because this is a fun thing. Back in like year 2 of Free Enterprise, a community member did the frame timings to see when you're leaving Sealed Cave, which rooms do you walk, which rooms do you warp. Has anyone done that for Moon yet? Anyone walked room to room and figured out these are the rooms where you save warp? These are the ones where you should walk?
Who doesn't exit out of the moon? Come on. Oh boy. I mean, I guess, well, I'd say the good news is if you're going bottom up here, at least you're only warping from, you know, the Wyvern altar, but you're still warping from the Wyvern altar.
Yeah. So incidentally here, did Kyrios go all the way to nuke? I feel like Palom would have just a few more HP, but I admit I was...
Yeah, I think he did cut it. Yeah, usually Palom's like in the 1700s on nuke, so yeah, I think he is a little short on this.
Yeah. Lightning 3's nice here. Cub still has that Thunderclaw in the pocket when we do get up to the Leviathan fight, but I'm liking how things are looking for Kyrios right now.
Yeah, very much so. I might have left it a bit short just because of the Ribbon Room, probably, for the 200k there, thinking that was going to push on. I mean, it's you know, one less fight. I get it, but I really just like, give me nuke immediately and just let me throw it at things, and I'm here for that.
Yeah, you don't have to think, oh, is it worth the trade-off? You know, the Lightning 3 will do double damage, but it's a lot. Just nuke. Just nuke. Nuke.
Yeah. No exit. Well, that's a Ribbon Room.
Are we gonna start calling these Jean-Paul Sartre seeds, where you know you don't get to leave the moon? They say heck is other people, but it's actually surprise not having a way to leave the bottom of the moon.
Exactly. Yeah. So okay, you're on the moon. You go do your. We're gonna go do the Hanzo altar here in a minute. Your key items you need obviously are Luca and Sand Ruby. Your gating items are Earth Crystal, the Pan, which you just acquired. Obviously Luca as well. Is there ever a point where you pull the trigger and be like, hey, you know what? I got the Pan and Luca, and let's say you grabbed all three. If you grab Pan, Luca, and Earth out of your first 3 checks, do you take the risk?
I mean, without an exit, I'm doing all 4 here.
Well, okay, sorry.
With exit,
let's add exit back into this here.
Yeah,
Do you take a swing at it, knowing that they all gate something?
I think it depends a little bit on if I feel I lost a lot of time early in the seed. If I do, then in a race context, I am a little more willing to do that. But if I'm like, I've not wiped, I've had really good loot, I've completed my fights quickly and efficiently, then I'd probably still stick around. Maybe fade Cave Bahamut at the end. I know, cave value, blah, blah, blah. But it's the less time I spend flying the whale around, typically the better I feel about what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah, that's fair. Just an Adamant there from the old Plague Altar, so not what we're looking for, but our key item list here is getting smaller by the second.
And I'm maybe you can answer this, maybe someone in chat can answer this, but you know, as we see these key items, you know, pop out of these summon and moon spots, you know, it is less weighted than the K main pool, and I'm wondering also if that has an impact on your decision as well. Like, you know, you mentioned, you know, if you pull these 3 key items out of here, well, then all of a sudden, how many more do I think are in the moon and summon pools?
Right. So it's a good question. I mean, you look at what they've completed, and I know this involves thinking, where you actually have to pay attention to what items you're pulling out of what pool. But yeah, it's like, you know, some of these are going to lead to, you know, K main checks. How many zonks did you see out of K main? It's a good question. So, but hey, speaking of questions, this isn't quite. This is about as straightforward of a fight as you get.
Oh yeah, Dark Elf, very nice to find here. We talked about how high the spell power is here, and 100 is a bit higher than you'll see Dark Elf's little trio of spells, but it's nothing to worry about for this team. The weak is probably a little more dangerous, and the great thing is that once it transforms, no boss bit. Throw an Hourglass, cast the weak spell. You have 1,000 different ways to trivialize the back nine of this fight.
Yep, absolutely. What you're probably going to see right as this Tier 3 fires should be the next action on Palom, would be casting the weak. Or we're just going to nuke it next year because, hey, guess what? Nuke works very well on, well, just about everything in the game.
Yeah, like on flag sets where you get to start with a full-powered Fusoya, it's like, when do you not cast Nuke? And it's basically when you want to cast Quake, or when it has so few HP, you actually want to save the 1 second of animation time that Virus gives you. Here, this is a very simple. Your Palom doesn't have to think, only microwave.
Exactly. Now, speaking of thinking, though, Cubs did some thinking. Want to take a wild guess what was in the shop on the moon?
Ooh, what was there? That.
See, rewards for shopping. Oh, look at that.
That's interesting.
Behind an objective. Who would have thought?
Because now if Cubs goes right for the objective, that exit is kind of like the big deal.
Yeah.
Has anyone timed the... I know I was talking earlier about, frame counting warp versus walking, but do you have a general estimate of leaving the moon via warp, like, just roughly?
No, I was too busy being angry, casting warp like 13 times to get out.
Who can count at a time like this?
Ballpark? I don't know. A minute, probably minute and a half, 2 minutes would be my guess. I'll be honest, I just warped every floor. I needed the warp practice. I didn't walk the short floors, so...
Well, that's good news for Cubs. Again, a little bit behind here, the Ruby fight, and having to... I believe Cubs walked to the Baron basement 3 times. The first time to peek it, second time, got down there, needed another egg to get the team ready, and then finally the third time with the Magma Key reward. So, Cubs burned a little bit of time there. Gonna need to try to make it back this way.
Hey, look, that's another... Actually, this fight punch is really hard. I do enjoy one thing about this fight, or at least fights of this, is you notice Edge has an adamant armor on. He's still taking damage in the front row.
Another thing you can do this fight, if you've not already grinded to nuke, there is a lot of bonus XP available for the taking here.
There is. You could get a little cute with some, little Toad cast and some Life 2, and oh yeah, we could have some fun with this fight. But off-slot stone works just fine too, and take care, bye-bye now.
Yep, another 130,000. Team looking very strong now. Rosa getting close to surviving unnerfed Big Bangs 100% of the time.
Well, I mean,
did either runner ever buy
an item 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, but also neither runner ever bought Star Veils, right?
No. So that's equivocally a Star Veil. So yes, I'm holding on to it. Like, I'm not resetting out of that.
Is there any fight left though where you think Star Veils are a must-have at this point, excepting Zeromus with your nukes? You've
seen Wyvern, you've seen Golbez, Bahamut. You're fully anchored, so you'll beat the timer. No, there shouldn't be anything left.
So honestly, I just want to remark on how generous the seed was with the Golbez on Hobbs. That so there, Asura at a spot where we were able to cast Wall, Wyvern in the tower key room. I would be very worried if I started with only 2 Star Veils and never found more. But Yabari, our restreamer, being remarkably generous.
Yeah, very much so.
So disappointed.
I mean, look, they got underground at 50 minutes. I mean, there was a little bit of challenge involved there, kind of in the early game, but you get a few levels, you get Quack, and a few other things, and yeah, sometimes the seeds just become elementary.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, bad things happen at the Ogo altar, and, well, yeah. Not this time, though.
And here we go. Kyrios has made it up top, right when Cubsrule has gotten to the bottom. That second Adamant armor is going to have to put in a lot of work here for Cubs to equalize. But we do see Kyrios not taking a save before walking to this altar. Trying to think if there's anything here that could illustrate hubris.
Not with what you've seen, not with what's out of the pool. Especially with Edge having an adamant armor. No, you're fine. Yep, that qualifies as fine.
Waiting with bated breath to see if Ogo Pogo showed up, but even that, I think, as long as you got the Zerk off, yeah, nothing to worry about.
Talk about characters that actually enjoy that Cecil's on vacation right now. This is one of them.
Oh yeah, the karate boss is like, yes.
Yeah, I get to show my full power for more than literally 2 rounds, so yay.
The good news for Cubs is he is going directly to the objectives. A gamble on this Luca key, hoping that it has everything.
Maybe
it would be the big equalizer here, but that's a real hard play to make.
Yeah, that, and he obviously cut his level short too, so I think he does Ribbon. He might even do Plague, and then maybe take a swing at scumming it and hope that Pan Luca is your finisher.
But meanwhile, Kyrios has gotten go mode.
Oh, so about leaving in that finisher. Uh-oh.
So, did have to work all the way back out of the moon, but big advantage Kyrios right now. Not even going to have to do the pan checks, just good to go.
Definitely saved some time there, so.
Cubs does equalize on the objective count. With that, both runners will have completed number 5. But this is a straight line for Kyrios the rest of the way to the finish.
Yeah, you have the levels, you have the power, you have a veil. Doesn't matter what style, they both work. I mean, what do you see out of this Z fight? While we're waiting for it, how's this gonna go?
I mean, that Edge is very nicely equipped. Now, there has been some talk on the Free Enterprise Workshop Discord of cute ways to do hybrid strats that still get you a refill skip. You only have to take down the first 61,000 of Zerom's HP, you don't get the refill, boom, you cut your fight in half. And so now I'm like, Kyrios, you've been working on these, you've been workshopping anything yourself? Are we going to see some really clever things? There is the classic, though. One other thing that... with regard to that moon veil. If you're counting damage and you have your, let's say you're bouncing your nukes off of Rosa, start with the star veil, use the moon veil.
Oh, now you're being cheeky.
Yeah, use the moon veil to where the physical attacks from your Zerk or Edge can't hurt Z anymore.
Yeah.
And finish it off that way. That's a classic that we've not seen in a while, but this team's very well poised to do it.
Yeah, very much so.
It is interesting because to go back to some of the earlier decisions in the seed regarding grinding, fundamentally, I think that the second Adamant that Cubs did get would have been fine. The bigger difference was electing to do the Fey March, to make multiple to go to Cave Magnus, to do multiple passes at the Baron basement, whereas after Kyrios didn't go anywhere more than once except for Dwarf Castle, and that was just because he bounced off of Val. Everything else went there once, and once he felt he had the power to tackle the moon objective, right to the moon. Did do 2 other altars there, still needed more items for go mode, but went for the freebies, went for the objectives, and it's paid off immensely in this race.
Yeah, very much so. Oh, and there's the oh. You're not checking the treasury, folks. It's a nice thought, but you're not checking it.
Maybe we'll get to visit it post seed.
Possible. Look, it's T Pro. Just assume there's nothing in there, but Cure 3 potions and longswords. Maybe a vampire or two while we're at it. Odin's gonna have a bad day.
Yeah, no Thunderclaw, no problem. Not with
Yeah.
this kind of steel, not with this kind of magic. The auto attack would actually kill the entire team here. Adamant armor be darned, just because Evil Wall gets one of those huge spell power ratings to make sure it doesn't whiff its crushes and its calcify attacks.
Well, the good news about this cave, though, is we don't care if you have exit here. Just have warp.
Do you think do you think this race is going to set the record for most warp casts in an Adamant Cup match?
We can do better. I mean, obviously, this is one of the first races, so yes, this is the bar right now. But we can do better.
Yeah, just no exits in the Hummingway shop next time, and then both runners.
Yeah,
gotta go warp.
Yeah, except and obviously have a go mode in the ribbon room, so they have to warp literally all the way out, and and we're there.
Now that was really cute, by the way.
Kyrios ran out of MP. I was wondering, like, wait, why are you walking the longer flow? Oh, that's why.
Yeah, one more warp. Which one you want to do? All right, penultimate room instead of anti-penultimate. No,
that's first world problems right there. You have 450 MP and you can't afford warp to get out.
Well, you know, there's actually one thing I really love about what Kyrios has done here, and it's subtle if you're not, you know, a seasoned racer, and that's that when did Kyrios last camp or recover MP on his team?
Yeah.
And that's the other advantage of having those massive levels. You all of a sudden, all you're doing at a save point is saving. You're not camping. You're not trying to be like, do I have enough ethers and tents combined to get my team up to snuff? Because we didn't see cabins this seed either. So another big advantage of having the big levels there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's all those little things that just take time. I mean, if you've ever sat through a 10 or a cabin animation, it's about the same level as like when you cast Sylph, and you're sitting there like, are they ever going to go away? Why are they still? Why? Like, no, don't do this. Those seconds add up, and we've seen enough 10-second and less races that those little things matter.
Tubbs, meanwhile, does show us how lucrative the life glitches can be. Was that like 313,000 XP here? Gets his kid up to nuke.
Looks like we're going battle speed 4 is inbound. I think it's time.
Yeah. We see the battle speed going down, getting ready to reflect. All these spells, not going to bleed a single tick to Zeromus, who isn't randomized. This is the Zeromus you've mostly known and loved throughout your life, with minor cosmetic changes. And because, you know, it's very important that something be randomized in this boss fight, and that's the sprite. And so we have, how many questions are we up to now that we have to ask, Martin?
Does it have a hat?
Does it have a hat? Does it have a butt?
Yes.
Is butt cute?
Yes.
And the most important one, I leave it for you.
Whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
Yeah, that'd be it.
Okay. That's a lot of questions asked for a boss.
But another fun fact, by the way, Cubs Rule, I got his Zeroma sprite for the first time the other day.
Oh, no.
And
I'm intrigued.
It's all of the above. It's cute. It has a hat. It has a butt.
I cannot wait to see it.
It is one of the. It is an iconic Z sprite, and Scala Kitty did an absolutely majestic job.
All right, here we go. That's a lot of HP on Rosa there. That's a very healthy number.
So here we go. Crystal is thrown. Let's see which iconic character, monster, sometimes concept we're dealing with tonight.
The okay, so obviously we can't see the full portrait, but he has a butt. The crown's kind of a hat.
I am a hat rebel. I'm willing to even say that things like helmets and stuff are hats. So a crown,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, it ticks a few boxes.
So that is Lord British from the Ultima series. As throughout my teenage years, I frequently confused Richard Garriott and Richard Branson. They were all just,
Nice.
and thus I have like a slightly visceral reaction to this person, even though it's not who I thought it was for many years.
Not bad. Oh, look at that. The counter nuke targeting the right character. Oh, isn't that nice?
Oh, and we are not even seeing a. There's no Zerk happening here.
No.
Kyrios wants pure reflect strats. We're going to go through 61,000 HP and not a. Well, you'll probably do a drop more just because whatever. But
Yeah.
no refills on Kyrios' blade tonight.
And talking earlier about, when do you pull the trigger and leave the moon? Unfortunately, it does look like Cubs left the moon after that without hitting the Mura altar. So,
I mean, the competition in this brackets field is so fierce.
it is.
I think that you have to take gambles if you want to win the entire shebang.
Yes. And the fact this also gave an Earth Crystal probably isn't helping matters either. Because, of course, you're going to go follow it, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah. If Cubs is someone who pays attention to the race room channel while it's ongoing, probably won't be going up Zot once the done comes in.
Yeah.
Which, with these reflections coming through, will not be long at all. Hey, that word white's not going away. That means GG's.
The game is over. Down goes Lord British.
Good job to Kyrios winning. This ain't over for Cubsrule, of course. Every brackets match is best 2 out of 3. But in the meantime, we're going to see if Kyrios wants to come in for an interview. And hey, Kyrios, do you want to come in for an interview?
I think I have. I think this is working.
GG, Kyrios. Well ran.
Thank you.
So, first thing I'm wondering about is your thoughts and plans on that hook route. When you saw it was Dr. Luge there with that team, how were you planning to deal with that fight? What was your general idea going into it? Was there anything you wish you had, or were you just... What were your thoughts on any moderately hook route like this one?
So, yeah, I was not thrilled with how I ran probably the first 20 or 30 minutes of that seed. I don't know how much of that is just mental because I punted a few minutes there at the gauntlet by 4 hit points, but I took that, I think, as early as I thought I had a good chance at it because I felt that I needed the time, and it's fortunate that it worked out that well. I spent a lot of that seed wishing I had a Thunder Claw, a Mute Knife for both, but it worked out, so can't complain.
How about an exit spell?
Yeah, apparently I missed them at the Cave on the Moon.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to happen. Just, I can imagine the frustration of when you're going through that, just wondering, was there an Earth Crystal, one of the places I didn't go? Were there exits in a shop? Like, what goes through your head during that time exiting the moon? Were you thinking about if you didn't find the Sand Ruby, how you were going to route things? Like, what's going through a racer's mind during the long walk up?
So definitely I was worried that Twin Harp led to Earth Crystal, right? Because not only does that get you the exit, but that routes together pretty nicely, so you lose less time doing it, even if it's a blank, than I am running back up the moon. Now, that said, the fact that I had to warp back up the moon made me a lot more inclined to full clear at least the LST, rather than leaving anything there. So that obviously worked out well with the Sand Ruby where it was.
Martin, your thoughts, questions, what you see, what you like?
I think you got most of it. I mean, obviously we saw the tragedy of the early gauntlet, but I mean overall you played that seed very well. So everything you did kind of came together. Yes, ha ha ha, exit. Yeah, we joke about that one, but I mean the short version, you're 1-0. What do you take away from this seed going into your next match with Cubs?
Yeah, I mean, the most interesting thing about this seed to me, and I've seen it a lot in some of the bracket seeds, is there's a lot of potential for routing variance that I guess was probably there in the group seeds, but maybe I just didn't see it that much. There were a lot of holes you could have fallen down here that would have cost you 5 minutes here or there. And I think that kind of makes it a little more spicy. Certainly watching it, I would hope that it probably, some of the decisions become a little more of a focal point, but definitely running it, you're thinking about the alternate paths that you're going down as you do it. So it's great, but it feels great to be 1-0 too. So it's going to be a very dangerous race too, because I know Cubs is going to be coming for me to even it up. So it'll be fun.
When is race 2, by the way?
Thursday, same time.
I will definitely be watching.
GG's again, Kyrios. Well played.
Yeah.
Thanks to the whole Restreet team too. Invin and Martin announcing, Niabari, Judge. Thanks all you guys for putting this on.
Yeah, go enjoy the rest of your evening and take care of yourself.
Reminder chat, make sure you do follow the runners as well. You know, Kyrios may have been lavishing us with praise here for putting on the restream, but we wouldn't have anything to restream without these really great racers. So make sure you give both Kyrios and Cubsrule a follow. And I think Cubs has fallen into another rabbit hole. This is...
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. It always happens.
But Invin,
yeah.
I feel like that, you know, we could do it without the racers, but I don't think anyone's going to want to listen to us for an hour and 42 minutes and 52 seconds. We need the racers.
Hey, Martin and I are proud to announce our new podcast where we just make up the free enterprise seed.
No chilling. Oh, look, it's Mylon and friends. Oh, that's great. Hey, I wonder what characters are up here.
Oh yeah, there's certain people we've... Wait, is there anyone we've not seen, or have we not seen Yang? Yang's out there somewhere.
Nope, we haven't seen Yang. So, but there are a lot of dupes in this flag set, so I mean, this could be 2 more Rydias.
You know, you talked about Team 90 HP earlier. Have you heard of Team 60 HP?
You know, it's a thing. So hopefully Cubs left to save on the moon. Oh, well, how about a little late, but how about Second Edge?
Honestly, you know, talking more generally about the flag set, Second Edge is someone who I loved in groups because, you know, you were falling over katanas left and right.
Yeah.
Very hard to outfit double edge on this these flags without just trap chest being exceedingly one-sided in terms of his gear.
Yeah, there's something to be said about, oh look, I have a Second Edge. Cool. What's he got on? Silver dagger and nothing. Like that's not how this works. Please don't do that. What bosses are left? Who haven't we seen? I don't think we've seen Ogopogo yet.
Yeah, Ogo's still out there.
Anything nasty magic side? Yeah, well that's no.
Ogo's out there. Is Demus still out there? No, Demus was...
No, we saw that one at
yeah,
very early. That was what? Ordeals 1?
Yeah. So very early Demus. Just trying to think of things that are even, you know, nothing's going to be difficult for Cubs' team at this point. It's just what's annoying and you don't want to have to put up with.
Exactly. But yeah, that was very well ran race by Kyrios. I'm looking forward to race 2.
Oh yeah,
this is definitely a great matchup. I mean, widely / little known fact. I mean, these were both pink puffs, and now they're in brackets.
They grow up so fast.
I know.
I will say one more thing though about Kyrios' run while Cubs is getting the results of this tower, and it is very easy to take a wipe, especially like an early gauntlet like that, and just feel like you're behind and get in your own head and just take proceedingly more drastic gambles that ends up just tearing your race apart. And Kyrios kept a very cool head, went for the targets just like you would if you hadn't taken a single wipe, and I think that was really well done. Did not get in his own head, and that's a mark of a really good seasoned racer right there.
Yeah. Not only that, but I mean, it's not just like that specific. There's going to be fights in like all these seeds where you may think that, I mean, you put that Val at Dwarf 1, you might bounce off that a couple times. Probably a pretty good assumption. Your opponent might bounce off at once too. So, keep that in mind when you're doing these. Is okay, I'm gonna have some problems, but chances are my opponent might have a few problems too. Like they're not immune to that either.
And there's another big difference between these bracket seeds and the group races. Like in the group ones, it wasn't a question really of if you were going to bounce off anything. Val at Dwarf 1's annoying. Val at Baron Castle 2 is annoying. But at the same time, with how high the power level was, far less likely you're going to have a hiccup, and it just becomes pure execution, pure knowing when to cut your looting, know your team strong enough. This one, it's a lot trickier.
Yeah, very much so. Just because of obviously taking away Cecil and Fu out of the pool. I mean, finding one of those, early mid game can just break a seed wide open. Doing more with less. I mean, that's what brackets is. So, and Kyrios came out ahead on this one, but like I said, I'm looking forward to race number 2.
Oh yeah,
you match up.
Again, Cubsrule won that Blitz Whip group. Both these runners in the group play before we got to the tiebreakers and the play-in matches and everything, each one only dropped to 1 match. Both have fantastic winning records, been taking on opponents left and right, but that's true of everyone in brackets, and it's going to be rough for everyone.
Yeah, but I'm here for it. Like I said, this is great entertainment. So, also, I was really worried there for Cubs for a second. I was hoping that nuke was not going directly at Cindy's face. I was gonna have questions. Oh, what's here? Oh, the value. Oh my.
One of those other things about us being on T-Pro instead of T-Wildish is the rewards from bosses when you don't get key items also taking a big step down.
Yeah. No, you haven't seen me do a, non-required music check just to get a complimentary Cure 3 potion. No, I've never had that happen before. Or as I like to call them, functionally useful items.
Functionally useful.
Yes, just not useful at that exact moment. So, Cubs doing K value because, hey, they call it value for a reason. I don't know what, not in this seat it isn't, but we know that.
Yeah, so gonna be giving us the old, I believe that'll be the 20 out of 28, right? Just the misfortune of fading the Murasame altar. We're gonna see every checkmate this seed, which is fun. It's good to see what's out there. And reminder, chat, that there are a lot of matches this week. It's the round of 32, best 2 out of 3. So if you're not on the Discord, you really should be. It's where the announcements are made night before, which matches are coming up tomorrow, which ones will be restreamed. So if you want to keep up, that's kind of the best place to do it.
Yeah. And of course, obviously cheer on the fact that you want all of them to go 3 matches because, more free enterprise, that's the important thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And also just to put the pressure on everyone, even if Kyrios has to be feeling great right now. Took that first win, you have the advantage, but there's something about going into a do or die 1v1 match. You're at 1-1, and it's the intensity for runners is so good, and I think that you see it in their gameplay, and it makes the races even more fun to watch them.
Absolutely. Speaking of things not fun to watch, though, hey, look, it's more vanilla.
Bahamut at Bahamut. Hooray!
Bonus points if it gives a Bahamut summon too while it's at it.
Of course, this is kind of a cute fight to see here because when you go to the moon, you don't want anything punchy in Cape Bahamut. This place doesn't have the worst spell power, but its physical attack is some of the highest in the game. And this is the kind of fight that you could have done with that Darkness Crystal at the start of the game. get a couple
Yeah.
more Star Veils, this fight's doable.
Yeah, absolutely. What would have you gotten as and a whole apple in Ven? Here, have some more HP for who? I don't know.
Mm.
I know at this point, yeah, just keep the apple.
It's your yeah, it
Yeah.
is your token of our what's the line that Golbez says in Vanilla? I'm taking her as a token of this promise. There we go.
Yeah.
And yeah, keep your ill-gotten gains.
I hear if you try to give it to the guy that wants the pass, he doesn't open the door. that doesn't work. Nor do Cure Ones or what else? I think Rat Tails don't work either. There's a couple other items. He's very specific about what he wants.
I mean, you know how hard it is to find work as a bouncer in a Square Enix game?
I see
just
what you
this
did. I
one.
see what you did there, and I approve of it.
and the best. I'm sorry. Actually, no. Final Fantasy VII has bouncers in it too, doesn't it? I guess those are more like. Yeah. There are a few.
Oh, okay. I thought we were referencing the Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement where Sora now looks like the character from the bouncer. I thought that's where we were going with it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I did see really great fan art of that where someone was envisioning him like when you put booties on a cat or a dog and they can't walk right anymore because they don't know what they're doing. And it has him walking like that because he's uncomfortable in smaller shoes.
Wow.
Anyway, Cubs here are gonna get the annoying news that it's always the last place you look.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I do love seeing an edge swinging for 5,000 damage though.
It is a nice thing, isn't it?
Yeah, like you said, after all those Silver Knife, Charm Claw loadouts, it's
brings back bad memories. Nothing worse than Edge starting with a Charm Claw. Unless it's Edge and a Yang both starting with Charm Claws, then yes, that's way worse. All right, we got Sand Ruby to turn in. We're going to Z one more time. Make sure to go follow both of them runners. Go follow them. They're both amazing. They're fantastic. Please.
This Z is going to have a real bad time. The double adamant armor, the high levels, the double Masamune.
That's about as bad as it gets, I feel like, in brackets. Like, this is not a party you want to stare down.
And I will say that I personally am really happy that Cubs did keep that Rydia on the ground, level 1, 30 HP entire way through. We talk about shopping and, you know, no cursed ring hunts for either runner tonight, but love that 4 base agility.
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, you know, it comes at a hit of, you know, a 4th character not doing damage or, you know, functionally useful things, but I mean, considering what the seed kind of threw at you, like having a legitimate anchor, kind of important. Once you find the adamant armors, you know, rules kind of go out the window, but yeah, you can't put a price on having RA1 everybody. I mean, hey, if you bought the exits, you might as well use them. So I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah. And I think this is actually, again, speaking of things that were timed in the early days of Free Enterprise, I remember Rivers timing exiting from various towns, because a whole bunch of us would just cast exit in towns, because why walk, right? Yeah. But it turns out there are very few places it saves time. And I think right from the Sand Ruby bed is one of them. And if not, who just wants to deal with those NPCs in town, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say, so list of places I would love to exit from literally all the time. Toroya, because we all know the Toroya lady. I have words about that one. that and Grandma in the Kaipo item shop. Yeah. That is
one other reason why I'm very thankful that starter kits were implemented, because used to be, you run into a wyvern or a golbez, certain other fights, and you're like, great, now I have to go to every shop hunting for even just the first few starter Starvels, right? And Kaipo, I can't remember the last time that I really felt like I needed to shop in Kaipo.
Yeah.
It's we're living in a wonderful modern era.
Yeah, there's probably one exact circumstance where it happens, like a potato starting party and a starting package.
Yeah,
Might
yeah.
get you go in that direction, but that's literally about it.
Well, no, here, Cubs flipped that adamant armor over to Rosa. I think we're going to see double reflect strats tonight.
Yay! I do love the reflex strats. They're fast. They're pretty straightforward as long as your agility's in check, and yeah.
Although I cannot count the number of times that I've done this in like pure white mage parties, and I always forget just how long it takes holy white to cast, and invariably get hit with the black hole and proceed to just really ruin one Porum's whole career.
I really swear you were watching my seed last night. I really am. It's like, no, I got time. Look, it's a vibrate and a big bang, and no, the white's gonna fire, I swear. Yeah, it fired exactly right after the black hole fired.
And here we go. Cubs does the transformation, queues up a white and a nuke.
Do we have darts? Do we have a dart? Oh, we got a dart. That one.
There we go. You can make a couple of manual swings at this point too, until you hit the, I believe, 40. Is it 45 or 46,000?
45.
45. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all good to keep bopping, but as soon as you do direct damage past 45, that refill happens.
Yep.
Riddy is helping.
Not for long. Also, so let's talk about counter nukes really quick.
That's
Adamant
so
armors
rude.
do some amazing things. Counter nukes don't care.
I think that's the seed that's the board face AI getting revenge, because we did see Cubsrule's Palom completely dodge the Mega Nuke earlier. And did not roll a single dodge roll on that counter nuke.
Nope.
Just very unfortunate. The kid's back up. He's flinging spells again. It's all good.
Yeah. It's just, it's painful to see. It's like, you know what, adamant armor. Oh, I can take damage from it, everything now, and I'll be just fine. Well, not exactly.
Yeah. I think I've seen a counter nuke completely whiff just like one time, and it was on probably an Omnidextrous seed where you're stacking adamant armors anyway, and it's like, all right, yeah. But it's remarkable how much, you go into this fight, you think you're well equipped, and then just the nuke hits all 4 rolls, and all of a sudden you're on your heels.
I was gonna say, I didn't think that Cure 4 was gonna fire. I think we may just be pulling this one together and resetting everything here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is still recoverable.
Oh yeah, very, very much so.
Most important thing, do not panic.
No.
Also, if the count's right, we do see the direct nuke coming out here.
The finish? No, that was the refill.
Yeah, the nuke word disappeared in the top right, so we knew it wasn't crumbling. And there was no counter nuke, which means it did something else.
Yes.
That HP refill.
Unfortunately, let's be honest. You're going to see that in this flag set is, sometimes those counter nukes just go the wrong people and they roll high, and all of a sudden your illustrious, great, amazing, pretty straightforward plan just falls apart. It happens.
And of course, the other bit of nastiness that it's going to happen to someone. A race will be determined by it when someone endeavors to nerf a nuke in phase nerf a Big Bang in phase 2, but
Mm-hmm.
it tips to Meteo, and you get the full powered Big Bang into the Meteo, and
Mm-hmm.
even with your adamant armor, that can eat through all the party HP.
Yep. Yep. It's funny. I've been playing this game now, not obviously as long as you have. I still haven't seen it all yet. Like there's still things I pick up about this game.
Well, that's one of the things that I really like, that why the flag set design for tournaments, I think, is really cool, because there's always going to be a new flag or a new nuance that I really enjoy seeing high tier racers come up with new plans, new strategies, new ways to deal with what the admins throw at them.
Mm-hmm.
And this flag set, I think we're going to see a whole lot of that in the next month and a half or so. So I'm happy for it.
Yeah, it does definitely lend to creativity and some things outside the norm you wouldn't expect to be doing.
And of course, I'm a huge nerd, so even if you don't see anything extremely mind-blowing, even I just like minor optimizations. Even like so and so figured out a way to shave 6 seconds off of something. Yes, give me that. But your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice dart there.
Let's see where this counter nuke goes this time.
Edge or Rydia, much preferred.
Really? Okay. That one went a little better this time.
we have successfully dodged a couple of the nuke rolls, and that's great. This Palom, even though a nerf Big Bang can do up to 1200 damage, Palom should dodge a roll of it too.
Careful. Careful.
I'm not trying to. I'm being I'm trying to be optimistic.
I'm just waiting to see the big number. Okay, that's all right. We're fine.
I did like the you could tell I could sense the frustration there in Cubs hovering over that life potion. Like, really, this
again.
is happening.
Yeah, don't do this again.
Yeah, looking much smoother this time. Just you typically don't see a second Big Bang when you're doing this.
No.
As long as your nuker doesn't fall down, thus forcing your other team to scramble to get them back up and in position and everything. So this looks really good. I bet this nuke does it, and if not... Okay, there we go.
Hey, that's a GG.
GG's to Cubsrule. Sticking with a frustrating seed when you have last location, something like that, just, again, shows just immense constitution. And GG's out in chat. Make sure you follow both these runners.
It does look like the Cubs declined an interview with us tonight, which is honestly perfectly fine. So seeds like this, you just want to go kick back, relax afterwards, and regroup and get ready for race number 2. So,
which again, Thursday night?
Yeah,
same
Thursday
time as
night.
this one? Yeah. Yep. So match 2, Cubs will be out for vengeance, and that's a big motivator too.
Yeah. But like you said earlier, please go join the Discord, because we had, how many races do we have today? 5 or 6? There's more tomorrow, and there's more on Thursday.
There were 6 today, all starting within an hour and a half time span. Tomorrow, we have assignments. Tomorrow, 4 Eastern on Limit Break. You got Dragus v Simbu. 8 on Free Enterprise right here. Enchi versus Zyrak.
Nice.
And at 9 Eastern on Free Enterprise 2, X Pancraz versus Flurry 14.
Oh, wow.
Tomorrow's going to be a good day, Martin. Tomorrow's going to be a real good day.
That's going to be a lot of windows we're going to have open for that one.
Anyone have a spare monitor you can loan a buddy?
Look, we're not shilling for the channel here, but hey, if you need to go buy another monitor, now's the time to go do it. So, but what's the plan for tonight, Envan? Where are we going? What are we doing?
I did not see a message about us raiding to anywhere. Wait, oh no, I'm illiterate. Fun fact, you think I'm responding to chat, but I'm just reading all your minds. No, where are we going, Martin? Sorry.
I think we're going over Zyrek. I think you mentioned his name earlier. I think he has a race tomorrow.
Yes.
Probably doing practice. I'm just gonna throw that one out there.
Practice for the tournament? The match?
It's not even the game. It's just practice. Like,
I thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. As always, everyone, please no spoilers. Like Inven said, many races with an hour and a half of each other. Chances are a lot of us haven't seen them, probably including Zyrax. So, no spoilers. Newspapers hurt. Newspaper cuts suck. You got anything, Inven?
Nah, just thanks everyone for hanging out. I had a great time with you tonight, Martin. Looking forward to doing it again.
Absolutely.
And enjoy just enjoy more Adamant Cup goodness. That's all I got.
Yeah. We'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.